Hey YouTube, it's me again, and I wanted to answer some questions that my fellow YouTuber put on, and another fellow YouTuber gave some really good advice. This video is called Advice for the New Game Master. So, fellow YouTuber Zynock111 asked some interesting questions, and he got awesome replies by this dude I'm following, and he's really quite cool, and his name is Tetsubo57, and try to find Tetsubo57. His channel just rocks. Tetsubo, you're great, your channel rocks. I love watching your videos. So in reply to that, I'm trying to answer Zynock's questions myself. So Zynock, here are my answers. The first question you ask is what to do with unavailable players. Oh, well, what to do with unavailable players when it's understandable that some players, because of work, because of situations in their life, will not be able to attend every single one of the gaming sessions, and that is understandable. But what to do with their character? Tetsubo said it very nicely when he said keep the copies of their character sheets for reference, and ask them if they would mind some other player leading their characters through that session of the game. Also, what I like to do is use missing characters as plot devices. Sometimes, we were in a situation where a certain player couldn't come, so since all the characters were traveling, this character, the guy who couldn't come, his character got sick and got severe diarrhea. So he stayed in camp, let's say, for that adventure until they provided him with proper healing and medicine and such. On another occasion, another player couldn't come, and they were just going through the dungeons when suddenly they just kind of turned around and discovered that their friend is missing. Silently, he was just not there anymore, and the entire structure of the story kind of shifts to where the hell did he go? What the hell happened? It's kind of a little bit of a horror thing, when a kind of a group of characters are just going down through a narrow, dark corridor, and suddenly somebody says, "Listen, did you hear that?" And they all turn around and find out their friend is missing. So you can always use it as a plot device. Or if you're playing a modern setting or something, I just played yesterday with my friends. There I played as a player, not a game master, and the game master just said that one of our characters wanted to do more research. The player that wasn't available, his character just stayed behind and did more research, and then kind of contacted us through media, I mean cell phone something, because it was a cyberpunk Cthulhu kind of a thing. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions, but always be sure to be in contact with that player, and then just say and inform that player that, okay, this is what I think could happen to your character, and I hope you're okay with it. Okay, so the next question is, what themes are likely present in a game? Tetsubo said it perfectly. It is a very wide question. It depends on which role-playing game are you playing. Is it a horror role-playing game where you can, be surrounded by horror and suspense and I don't know, kind of horror themes? Or is it fantasy? Is it high fantasy? Is it low fantasy? Is it a realistic setting? Is it a historical setting? Sometimes it's fun just to go by the certain tropes that are certain to be found in those kind of role-playing settings. For instance, if you have Ravenloft, a role-playing game, that is a horror fantasy role-playing, so there will be some elements of medieval structure of society. That will be some elements of different races, magic, and also there's going to be suspense, there's going to be dark corridors, there's going to be unbelievable horrors that you quite can't explain, and you know, such. For instance, if you're playing another kind of a game, if you're playing let's say, I don't know, let's look to my I have all of my books just right there, so I'm just looking what could we do. Oh, well, if you're playing let's say urban conspiracy called The Dark Matter, so there's going to be the feeling of there's going to be kind of investigative, kind of research, kind of X-Files kind of a feeling. So, you know, just themes are should be connected to the setting, but also it's nice to see if you drop something new into the setting every now and then, just to keep things interesting. For instance, racial bigotry in fantasy settings, or celebrity concept, or for instance sports or something in every game. I mean, if it suits your game. And the themes question is really so broad that you couldn't answer straight away, but I always strive as a game master to have humor, and to have suspense, and to have action. Humor, suspense. Sometimes in the role-playing game there is a certain window of opportunity to mix in some romance, then it really comes nicely together, but not always, but you know, there's always room for humor, suspense, and action. And the next question is, what are people offended by in the role-playing games? Well, if you know the people you're playing with, that shouldn't be a problem with you, because you know them. If they mind, you know, racial bigotry, sexual bigotry, adult themes like sexual molestation of any sort, violence, hatred, and such, you know, things that could be put off, or use of drugs, use of drinks, you know, just general adult themes. Watch out for those, and remember that you really need to know your players, not to go overboard. I had the misfortune that I really like horror role-playing games, and I presented very gory scenes and very scary elements in some of my horror role-playing games. But the players I was playing with at that point, they were not really into it as I was. So I got a reply from them later on when we played the sessions and everything. Later on they would come to me and say, dude, you read that somewhere, right? And I was just like, no, I made it up. No, seriously, dude, you read that somewhere, because that was really disturbing. And I was just like, well, thank you, I know, but no, I didn't. It came out of my head. And then they replied to, we're not sure, we want to hang out with a guy who is capable of making up those things. And then I said, yeah, I read that somewhere, probably Stephen King or Clive Barker or something. I read it. And then another place said, sure? No. So anyways, know your players, and if you're not sure, just go with the safest tropes that you can find. Also, don't make things boring. You know, just going through the motions. Here's an elf, here's a dwarf, here's a dragon, he has that many hit points, and his critical level of blah blah blah, and his numbers of and then the players are going, yes, I am the barbarian, and I have numbers of numbers of numbers, and my numbers are clearly numbers, and you know, the others, you know numbers, but you forgot numbers. Numbers, you know numbers, and numbers. Rules lawyering sucks. So yeah, keep it flowing, and just get to know, you know, people. And before you play, ask them what would they want to play. Do you like to play high action adventure? And if you put them in a Shakespearean royal drama where some, you know, they're just going to be bored. Or would you like to play Saviors of the World? And then you put them in the cult game or Call of Cthulhu, it would just not work. So, you know, just working with together, just players and game masters need to work together, because too many times there have been said, and too many times I have seen it, you get the feeling of game master against the players. So try to avoid that. We're all here to have a good time. So yeah. And also Zynock111 asked advice for the new game master. Well, first of all, my advice is don't be shy. Don't be shy to mimic voices if you're good at it. Don't be shy to make sketches or print sketches and just give them out handouts. Don't be shy to show them what you can really do as a game master. It's just not knowing all of the rules by heart and all of the numbers by heart. It's sharing a hallucination, sharing a dream with them, inviting them to actually lucidly dream with you and imagine themselves in those situations when you can really visualize those games, when you can really say, wow, it's like I could totally like see it in my mind what was going on. And that's the point of the game. Just and if you come to the part of rules lawyering, when you're not sure about something, when something has gone awry, and these numbers are those numbers and those, and I don't know those numbers, and I'm going to take a calculator out and say, if I can go to the internet and, you know, just take a pencil and say, we're going to write it down, we're going to do it like this, because you are the game master, we're going to do it like this now, I'm going to write down the question, and we're going to check it out later. So you don't want it to slow the pace of your game. Also, as a game master, you might, I don't know if you're leading your own adventure or a pre-made adventure, and as a game master, you know what's gonna happen next, but they don't know that. And don't railroad the adventure. Don't push them constantly in a single line where they will feel they have no options, because they will hate it. I made that mistake first when I was a game master, and I needed to work a lot on that. So just try to motivate them for discovering the adventure so you can tell the story together, because the adventure in any good roleplay is story told by the GM and by characters together. Everybody's here to play, everybody's here to enjoy themselves. So yeah, that would be an advice. And also, if you have some cool soundtracks, put them in the background, or, you know, sounds or something. Put them in the background. That's gonna help, you know, the entire kind of a feeling of the session. I just had a session a couple of weeks or a month before. A friend of mine was a game master, and he really went out of his way to make us feel awesome in that game. He presented the maps, he presented the different displays, pictures of characters, of monsters. He described the places in detail. He put the soundtrack quietly in the background, so, you know, we would all get into it. And even more, he had the opportunity to arrange his table where we're playing and put candles and low lights around it. Not so low that you can't see your dice, but, you know, low enough to have that romantic kind of a mystic feeling. And that was just awesome. That was, for me, I mean, I'm 33, but still, dude, that was awesome. Yeah. And also, you know, candles are a fire hazard. And props, use them wisely. You know, prop is cardboard cutout of a paper knife is, you know, a prop to be shown. It's not to be demonstrated. Yeah, because, you know, I have heard of people just kind of bringing their own daggers to the table, and when they wanted to demonstrate something, they hurt other people. So that was really freaky. avoid, you know, LARP has enough problems with that, so you don't want your game to have problems with that. But we're, you know, straying off course here, so I'm gonna finish with welcome to the amazing society of players and game masters, and I hope you have fun and the greatest times of your life. I know I did and still do. And if you have any more questions, just please reach out to YouTube. There are awesome guys like Tetsubo out there who's gonna answer your questions, and you know, I'll try. And there's a lot of us out there, and we're honored that you're going down this adventurous path. Okay, all the best to you. And to my other viewers, if you have any questions, just post them down below and I'll try to answer them all in the quickest time that I can. Okay, so stay cool and game on.